Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. Now in a prior video we looked at some home lighting, more specifically lighting for my home office. But today we're going to turn the corner a little bit with some pathway lighting. This here from Lumary, a really nice set of pathway lighting that at this point I have installed. I've been using it for a while. I definitely have some impressions. So if you're looking to spruce things up on the outside, illuminate key areas, increase overall safety and security, this might be a product for you. And so when we get back, we'll get into all the details. But with that said, I have a whole bunch to do and a whole bunch to share with you. And if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to get into, do me a favor, stay tuned. Now, before we get too far, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at Lumary who did provide this for review. And so now as we get into the Lumary pathway lighting, this is the Lumary Smart RGB AI Pathway Lights Pro. An excellent set of lights, basically for me, utilizing these in my front yard, in front of my house, and to illuminate not just my walkway, but to add some ambiance, add a little bit of safety and security in front of my house to light things up nicely. Now this kit comes with everything you'll need, with one exception in my opinion, but generally speaking, fairly straightforward in terms of the construction and fairly straightforward in terms of the installation. These are IP65 waterproof rated. They have rotatable dual heads on each one of the lights, and these come with a controller, the wires to connect them, your power supply, some spikes to put these down into the ground, and then you can download a software app to make everything work the way you need. The app is the same exact app that I used for my office lighting, so it is fairly convenient in that regard. But you can see as we get everything unboxed here, nicely packaged, nicely constructed, and just a real quality material all the way around. These are considered to be low voltage lights, and they have two 355 degree rotating heads on each one. These allow you to point these down or up depending on the effect that you're trying to get. All in all, these are 36 watts of power with 2800 lumens of overall brightness. This again can be controlled very specifically leveraging the app. You can control the entire light strand, or you can program these to do different sort of effects. You can see that I've used these in a number of different ways. Again, to create some ambiance with different colors, or to create a well-lit pathway with simply the yellow or white lighting. If you so choose, this can connect to a voice app, but in my particular case, I did not want to do so. Now, as we get into the installation here, you'll see I did take a look at the side of my house to kind of see what I was getting into. Took a look at my front steps, and I was like, well, it would be really cool if I have 4 heads to put 2 on each side of my front stairs, so it's a balanced look and so that I have even illumination. I had to come out of one of my receptacles so you can see the power outlet here, and getting everything connected. Very straightforward in terms of the connectors. These are water resistant connectors, and you can see they did come just a little bit banged up in a couple of cases, but not a big deal. I was able to get everything to connect nicely. When you first get started, these do come on in a blue state, and then eventually you have to go through a pairing mode to get these to connect to your Wi-Fi and to get them to connect to the app. But these daisy chain together. They are basically in series, so one light feeds the next, which feeds the next, which feeds the next, and unfortunately for me, not going to be long enough to make it under the stairs, so this is going to take some creative magic. I kind of needed to snake from one side of my steps to the other, but the power cords are not long enough, so I ended up basically putting all 4 lights on one side of my steps, which left an unbalanced look, but it's at least enough for testing, and it's enough to give you some impressions. You'll notice some of the heads I did point in the up direction, some of them I used to actually illuminate some of the landscaping, and some of them I used to illuminate the pathway. Long pressing on the controller does put these into the pairing mode. You'll see they go from blue to flashing white, and at that point they are looking to pair. So you will need to install your Lumary app, very straightforward. I am personally using an Android phone. You're going to add your devices, you're going to turn on your Wi-Fi, and these boot up with ease, the Lumary Pathway Lighting Pro. After you've added these, they are considered to be successfully paired, and you can start to mess with some of the settings. Now, at that point, you can see the white light coming on as a solid color, and you can change everything from the color temperature to how these operate. You will select, in essence, for this particular setup, a full 8 light strand, and then you get into a little bit of programming. It's not incredibly difficult, and it's fairly straightforward. So you can see here I did select that there were 8 lights in this particular strand, and they'll tell you that this can support a maximum of up to 48 lights or a minimum of 5. So once you get this set up, you can get into some of the alternative programming modes, which you do leverage straight from the app. And you can see here, nighttime, getting things established. You can turn the lights on, you can turn them off. These are a little bit warm, and then when you want, you can change the color temperature, slide it over, make it a little more cool, and it's pretty straightforward, not a heck of a lot to it, and you can see that it is fairly effective. And then again, you have the ability to get into some programming mode, so if you want different colors, making the lights chase each other and dance around. So depending on the effect you're going for, maybe seasonal, specialty sort of event, you can change the lights depending on your needs. There are some custom programs you can do. I really wanted to get into some very specific patterns and very specific timing, but I wasn't exactly able to do so. So generally speaking, these were very good, a little bit limited, but definitely a real nice set of lights. I have enjoyed these quite a bit. These definitely add an enhancement to the front of my house. And so, all right, guys, there you have it. A look at the Lumary Pathway Lighting. All in all, very cool. Some definite limitations, things to consider. I think Lumary should definitely make some accessory cables to allow multiple sets to get tied together, or at least allow you to extend between lights where you may have some difficult areas. That, for me, would have made all the difference in my ability to span across my front doorway. I think that's probably going to be a fairly common problem for most people, and so to not offer that or to have that option leaves this definitely lacking. All in all, though, very nice in terms of the water resistance and water capabilities. I've had these outside in rain. I've had them outside in snow. They've absolutely been freezing, and generally very good performance. Now, I have come into a couple of funny things, like, for example, the power went out in my entire neighborhood, so naturally these lights went out. But when they came back on, they had an almost impossible time connecting to my wireless network, and they sat and blinked and blinked and blinked and blinked and blinked. That, to me, is very difficult. So I had to completely uninstall them from the app, reload them back into the app, fully configure them, and start from scratch, which is kind of frustrating. So that, to me, is either I'm missing a step, but I don't think so. I think it's really a programming problem and something that Lumary should pay attention to and hopefully resolve. And also, the ability to change the lighting patterns is cool, but I would love the ability to select individual bulbs where there's 8 in the strand. I should have the ability to manage those independently to illuminate different areas, illuminate my pathway, and really get that super custom experience. That's another thing that for me was just a little bit lacking. But other than that, beautifully constructed, very functional, really enhancing the front of my property, which is great. It would be fantastic to have a second set now, and I could put them on the other side and really get an even balance from left to right hand side on the house, which would be nice. So all in all, I do have to say I like these. I think it's a great idea. I think they're trending in the right direction. I do think future iterations are going to be phenomenal. For now, minor tweaks would go a long way, but in the general sense, I do have to say I definitely like these. And so again, thank you guys for following along. To the people at Lumary, thank you so much for providing these for review. And for the rest of you, if you like this content, do me a favor. Take a look at my Outer Limitless 2 channel, which is more on the tactical and firearm side of things. At this point, that channel is growing quickly. I have a ton of videos up there. So if you like what you see here on Outer Limitless, do me a favor and check me out on Outer Limitless 2. So alright guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.